Hey everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. We're going to have a look at a film today. We're going to have a look at a 15 rating, an action crime drama. Yeah, it's not sort of action hero, not the sort of guy you'd think is an action hero, to be honest with you, but it was a nice, pleasant change, I'll tell you that now. And we're going to have a look at a film called Nobody today. So please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. I'll try and inform on these reviews of films, tell you other people's thoughts, etc., and then just add my little two-penny worth at the end as well. And on screen you'll see links to different things. Obviously on my playlist you'll see stuff on my football team Manchester City if that's of any interest, or you know someone who might be interested. And there's stuff on Facebook and Twitter. If you want to follow and friend me on there, do check and follow and friend everyone back. I do have a little website as well where I sell rare DVDs and movie posters, and there will be some football stuff going on there, so please keep checking that out as well for me. That'd be fantastic. Right, but today we've got a film review, yes, so let me know in your comments if you've seen this, if you enjoyed it. It has been available to stream in various sources, but obviously we've got a little bit of a release here in the UK at the cinema, so I'll tell you that detail later on, just before we finish. So yeah, if you've got any comments on this film or you're looking forward to watching it, please let me know. And of course, if you haven't got time to comment, just give us a thumbs up, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's classed as a 15 here in the UK. I'm not too sure the rating outside of the UK. And what's it about? Well, it's an underestimated and overlooked dad and husband. Poor man. Life's indignities on the chin and never pushing back. Yeah, I mean, the opening sequence is just showing us the routine of, well, most of our lives, really, unfortunately. But yeah, they don't sort of end up like this does. But yeah, it's a little bit sad, really, if you think about it, especially when you make your own sort of look at your own life and compare it to this guy's as well. Anyway, back to what it's about. He's a nobody, basically, which is what most of us probably are. When two thieves break into his suburban home one night, Hutch declines to defend himself or his family. Hoping to prevent serious violence, his teenage son Blake is disappointed in him. Well, they always are, these teenagers. And so is his wife. Yeah, well, that wasn't going so well even to start off with before this, to be honest with you. Becca seems to pull only further away. The aftermath of the incident strikes a match to Hutch's long simmering rage. Yeah, we've been there before, haven't we? Triggering dormant instincts and propelling him on a brutal path that will surface dark secrets and lethal skills. Who'd have thunk it, eh? In a barrage of fists, gunfire and squealing tyres, Hutch must save his family from a dangerous adversary. Yes, Russian, well, there's no surprise there, is famed Russian actor Alexei Seberyakov. Obviously is in this, stars in this one, and ensure that he will never be underestimated as a nobody again. Well, I didn't underestimate you anyway. So, as we've said, it does star the wonderful, I do like this guy. I've not seen him in this sort of role before. I don't think many of us have. Bob Odenkirk, of course. I think he's something to do with the production company as well that put this together. He stars as Hutch Nobody Mansell. Must be Nigel's brother. Colin Hulston as Rebecca, obviously his wife, and obviously quite successful in her own way, but obviously struggling a little bit with the mundane family life at the moment. Alexei Sereberikov, that we just mentioned before, he stars as Yulian Kuznetsov, a Russian mob boss. So there you go, he's guarding Obshak. Yeah, this is, well, loads of money, all a laundering sort of thing, I assume. And he obviously targets Hutch and his family. RZA, I think that's how you say it in the US. We'd say RZA, us old British guys, but RZA is Harry Mansell, Hutch's half-brother. Christopher Lloyd, yeah, it's lovely to see Christopher Lloyd in this. A bit more briefly on him in a moment, as David Mansell, Hutch's father. And Michael Ironside, yeah, he's looking, yeah, look a bit of weight on Michael, but he doesn't look too bad with it. As Eddie Williams, Hutch's father-in-law and boss. So what are the critics saying? What are they saying about this film? Well, Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, quite impressive. 235 scores and reviews left. And it's getting a positivity rating of 83%. So that's not too shabby, with an overall average rating of 7 out of 10. So again, a good score. And that's 194 fresh reviews and 41 rotten. A couple of the rotten reviews, yeah, not everyone likes it. As you say, there's 41 rotten reviews there. A couple of them, the main critics, Stephen Russell from Time Out magazine. He says the film is just angry, a deadening thud of pointless nihilism that actually seems to celebrate saving a marriage through mass murder. Okay, Joe Morgenstern from the Wall Street Journal, he didn't like it either. He thought it was quite rotten. He said, "This is punishment as entertainment, a short and sour saga of a pacifist turned vengeful brute in order to win back his self-respect." Well, it's not really a pacifist, Joe. I think you've missed the whole point, but there you go. And a couple of the fresh, just to balance it out. As I said, it was a lot more fresh than rotten. Richard Rooper from the Chicago Sun-Times, we do quote him quite a lot on my reviews. Bob Odenkirk comes on strong as an angry dad at war with the mob. The Better Call Saul star shows his Street Fighter skills in violent but entertaining revenge film. Robert Daniels sort of agrees. LA Times, he says, a symphony of slapstick violence. Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. Compared in brilliant clarity, the fracas reveals nobody in its true form, a bleak action comedy whose biggest laughs stem from a hunger for gratuitous brutality. Can't disagree. And the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, which is generally positive, says it doesn't break any new ground for the genre, it doesn't, but this viscerally violent thriller smashes, shatters and destroys plenty of other things it does, all while proving Bob Odenkirk has what it takes to be an action star. Audience, yeah, the audience Rotten Tomatoes 4.5 out of 5. So the audience seem to agree and like it a little bit more even than the critics. The Metacritic, the other critics site we have a look at, it scores anywhere between 38 out of 100 and 88 out of 100 and averages 63 out of 100 on its 39 critic scores and reviews that have been left. So again, still positive. On to the important thing, Internet Movie Database. That's you, me, Joe Public, who watched this. Yeah, 90,839 reviews as I'm recording this this episode. The details will be up on the scores later the day I'm recording this. And it's averaging 7.4 out of 10. Not bad for an Internet Movie Database score. And of those 90,839 that I checked this morning, 84,446, that's a massive 93% of the people who've left a score or review have given it a 6 or more, which is as you say, if something gets a 6, it's watchable in my book. So there you go, that's 93%, that's quite impressive. Right, my little two-pennyworth before we finish this, to say it's quite positive up to now, is it? I'm not going to be any different. I'm going to be positive as well. As with John Wick, yeah, and for many of that ilk, there's always room, isn't there, for a violence. And yes, these days it has to be ramped up to a little bit of level to keep people interested. But as long as it's the good guy who's coming out on top in this, one way or the other, I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't mind a bit of violence. I don't like the violence where the baddies are winning. I don't mind. I think like most of us, I think we enjoy a little bit of violence. And yes, and it is very, very gratuitous violence in this, but I think you can thoroughly enjoy it when not too many of the good people suffer as well in the end. This is what we like. I mean, obviously there's a lot of films where obviously revenge is started by a good person being killed or maimed or whatever, but yeah, this sort of keeps a little bit away from that. So I quite like that side of it. It's all good stuff. It's all for the good guys. Unlike the just mentioned there, John Wick's, didn't I? I didn't really enjoy the last couple of John Wicks because I think the story was sort of faded over time over John Wick 2, 3 and 4. I mean, I think I've not seen 4 yet. That's due out, isn't it? Certainly from 2 and 3, I thought the story stuttered along a little bit. But obviously with this, it obviously goes back to a start. It obviously goes back to getting to know a gentleman who suddenly becomes very violent. So it's a very simple story, this one. And unlike Keanu, which you've obviously got used to now, it's fun watching Odenkirk, because Keanu always had that edge to him, didn't he? He always looked as always possible of being an action hero, but you wouldn't have thought that with Bob Odenkirk, obviously. So it's great to see him do this action hero stuff, because it was such a surprise to what we're used to watching. It may begin to wane, of course it might be, but as a one-off, it was violently enjoyable in my opinion. And add to this as well, not the quite as smooth, seamless action heroism of Christopher Lloyd. There you go, another guy you don't often see being an action hero, but yeah, he's not quite as sort of smooth as Bob, but he's a little bit older, isn't he? But there you go, but it's all good with great to see Christopher Lloyd in this becoming a little bit of an action hero himself as well. Yes, a lot of the criticism with the Rotten Tomatoes and some of the critics is the violence. Yes, it's all been done before, but what I think I enjoyed about this was the choreography as well. It had a sort of Home Alone, grown-up vibe to it in a very violent way. So I like that. It came up with a couple. I like it when they come up with new ways of killing people, and that's what they do. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but they actually do that with spades in this. So I quite enjoyed that aspect of it. Yeah, we may need to rein in on the sequels. Hopefully we won't be getting Nobody 2, 3, 4 and 5, but then again, they've come up with an interesting background story or perhaps an origin feature. I mean, there's certainly room for one of those, isn't there, in this, to find out how he came to be this gentleman, how he came to be this person. So perhaps the odd 1 or 2 sequels I certainly won't mind at all, and I can put up with that. But as I say, don't overdo it, which I think they tend to do with John Wick, unless the brand new one is suddenly a better storyline, then perhaps not. But there you go. Don't overdo it. Just stay to 1 or 2 sequels, perhaps. I don't think Bob will allow himself to be a constant doing lots and lots of them, to be honest with you. And the soundtrack is very good as well. Some great songs in this. Bit tongue-in-cheek at times. It doesn't take itself too seriously either, alongside the music and stuff like that. And as for the baddies, yeah, they're the usual psycho idiots that we get to see. So there's no depth with them at all. You just want to see them get done, don't you, basically, because they're just horrible people. Yep, if I got on a late night bus and some idiots got on, it's definitely Bob Odenkirk I certainly want sat across from me, that's if Keanu's not available anyway. So my little rating for this, yes, gratuitous violent fun. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, which, if you know my scores, is quite high. I think it's well worth a 7 out of 10. For very, very watchable is what I would say. We've got onto a very good film, as I say. It's nothing unusual. I'd say for the genre, we've seen it all before, but it's nice to see a new star doing it. Nice to see a new guy kicking ass, as they say, isn't it? Nobody has a limited release now in the UK from the 9th of June 2021. So check your picture house or wherever you are in the UK. You might be able to see that at a local cinema. Of course, if you're outside of the UK, just check your territory for that one. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching. What I'm going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on a film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flit across, have a look at my Citizen channel, my football channel. Whatever it is, I only ask you to do one thing. I ask Bob to do one thing. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.